Hi, I'm Pete Cohen, and I work in the field of human behaviour, and I've spent the last 15 years or so working with many great athletes and sporting champions. I've also spent a lot of time working in a game that I'm extremely passionate about, and that's the game of golf. As I'm sure many golfers know, they're always searching for the answer, for the next gizmo, the new piece of equipment, the new type of swing, the new type of ball, the new type of clothing. Everyone's looking for something to get the edge. Well, in my work, I'm trying to help people develop the power of their mind and help them to be mentally strong. So how do you become mentally strong? Well, you have to understand the nature of your mind and what your mind does. One of the things that most of our minds do is play tricks on us. If I stepped inside your head when you played a round of golf, what would I notice? What would be the ray of emotions that you would go through? What would I see? Would I see some joy? Or would I see some frustration, some stress, some anger, some fear? It's these emotions that you see more in golfers. You see them frightened, often to do well, or frightened of what could happen or what might happen. How many times have you stood over a putt and gone, I hope I don't miss, or everyone's watching me, I really need to make a par here. It's funny, we really do get in our own way. And that's why I like golf so much, because when you work with golfers, you can really help them to get out of their own way. Because would you like to get out of your own way when you play golf? What I'd like to share with you as you watch this video is some simple things that you can do that will make you a better golfer. One of the first things you need to learn about is that the basic quality of the way you play this game, or any game in sport, is how you communicate with yourself. What do I mean? Do I mean being positive? Well, yeah, being positive is definitely better than being negative, but there is a stage that's higher than being positive or negative. It's when you don't talk inside your head. For most people, it's like they've got a duck in their head when they're playing golf. They might stand on the first tee being right in front of me, and be thinking, oh my God, this is really important. I hope I start the game off well. I hope I don't hit it left out of bounds, or I hope I don't shank it. One of the keys in golf is learning how to shut that duck up inside your head. Because if you can shut it up, it's quite annoying, isn't it? And that's what probably goes on inside your head sometimes, is that when you step up into the first tee, you really need that duck to be as far away as possible. So if we just turn up here and look up the fairway, what you need to learn how to do is do things without thinking about them. To me, in order to play golf well, you've got to have a good rhythm. And I don't just mean rhythm in your swing. Obviously that's paramount importance. Often you see people, if anything, their rhythm is too quick, as in they're swinging the club really fast, because they want to hit the ball. But if you watch the great golfers, you'll see that their rhythm is always constant. It's always the same. And one way to generate good rhythm is obviously through practice and learning how to have a good tempo. But there's another side to rhythm which people often overlook, and that's to have rhythm in between playing shots. So after you've played the shot, you always keep your rhythm the same. You don't rush to go and get your ball, you walk at the same pace all the time. You always put your club back in your bag in the same manner. You keep everything constant. That's what the great players have. So when they walk to their ball, everything is always cool. Everything is always calm. They're not in a hurry. This is what they do. This is their business. So when they get to the ball, everything is always rhythmical. Everything is always the same. They're never in a hurry. Everything is simple and straightforwards. And this is something I challenge you to practice if you want to be a better golfer, is to keep everything the same. You see, often when we play golf, we want to have such a great score that we're in such a hurry to go and get the good score, rather than knowing that in order to get that score, in order to play well, we've got to keep our rhythm the same. Rhythm. Practice it and see what difference it makes to your game. So not only do you need to have good rhythm when you play golf, but you need to understand the nature of the game. Well, the nature of the game to me is one like it's going to war. Why? Well, look at some of the things you have on the golf courses that are associated with war. The bunker, the trap. In order to play the game well, you need to obviously learn how to get out of your own way. you need to learn how to have good rhythm, but you also need to how to win the war of golf, which is to find peace in what you're doing. If you can find peace in what you're doing, then you can probably overcome most of the obstacles that the game poses to you. But let me ask you a question. Do you want to play perfect golf? What do I mean by perfect golf? Well, I mean hitting the ball straight, 300 yards, walk to your ball, pick up a wedge, hit it right by the flag, put it in the hole, birdie. Same, next hole, come off, you've just shot 59. Well done, well played. Done that a few times. Next thing you're playing on tour, play on a few tours, next thing you're the most famous golfer on the whole world, you've got millions and millions of pounds. Is that what you want? What you find with most people is they'd miss the ball going in the bunker. They'd miss chipping in from 50 yards. They'd miss hitting their ball out of bounds. And then their next shot making the most amazing par from a difficult situation. So how are you going to win the war of golf? Find peace and joy in the doing of golf. Everyone knows that one of the keys to being good at golf is being a good putter. So how do you putt well? Well, to me, putting is a very gentle pastime. What do I mean by that? You can't think too much about putting. You really have to use your senses. And what I mean by that is your ability to see and hear and feel what it is that you want to do. And if you look down here, you can see there's a ball and you can see the hole. And my effectiveness to putt that well is for me to see the line. So I can imagine the ball traveling down towards the hole. I can even imagine the ball dropping in the hole, and I can have the feeling of the ball already being in the hole before I actually do it. That's the key to putting. What I challenge you to practice doing is very, very simple. Can you all do this? You can all smile. Whenever you practice putting, rather than it being about hope and just hoping it goes in, I want you to look at the line. And when you really feel that you've got the line, whether that means that you have to move to the side or move to the back, is to when you can see the line of the ball being in the hole and you can really feel it, the first thing you need to do is smile about the fact that you've got it. So that when you've really got it and when you go in to putt, you're feeling good about what it is that you're about to do. Simple. Practice doing that and it really will make a big difference. See the line, hear the ball dropping, feel like you've already done it. And when you've got that and you've got that feeling, smile so you can feel good about what you're doing. So when you're standing over the ball, it's like you've already done it. Do this and it really will take some shots off your score. The zone. What is it? How is it? How do you get into it? The zone is something that a lot of athletes talk about. It's that space they get into when they're no longer thinking about what they're doing and things are happening effortlessly. Some athletes call it being in the flow, some call it being in a bubble. But the zone isn't something you find like, there's the zone over there, get in there, get into the zone and I'll play well. The zone is something that happens when you get lost in what you're doing. And in golf, the way you get into the zone is actually very simple. Of course, you need to keep your rhythm, but the zone in golf is your ability to stand behind the golf ball, see what you want to have happen, hear the shot, feel the shot, so that when you're standing over it, you feel like you've already done it. And the question is I want to ask you is quite very simple. How much do you want to play well? How much do you want to win? How much do you want to bring your handicap down? Well, if you really want it, you have to pay the ultimate price of wanting it, which is to forget about it and focus on what you're doing. That's the challenge. Shot by shot, chip by chip, putt by putt. And if you can do that and you can practice doing it, you stop being in the future and you start being in the present. And that's being in the zone. Most importantly of all, it's important to enjoy the game. We are not perfect. We are never going to play perfect golf. And what's really important is that if things don't work out the way that you want them to, don't beat yourself up, because that invariably doesn't achieve anything. Practice is really the key to being good at this game, but not only practicing your shots and your technique, but also practicing thinking positively, enjoying the game and not beating yourself up. So can you have mental strength? Can you be better at the game? Of course you can, but it's really important to enjoy the game and learn how to stay out of your own way. Thanks for watching.